Today we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of moms struggle with, and that is getting up before your kids in the morning. So, you know what? The struggle is real. Getting up before your kids is so hard. And even, especially if you're not a morning person, I have never been a morning person. My husband, bless his soul, wakes up in a really good mood. He can sing and dance and be all happy just waking up. And me, I'm like the opposite. I'm like, don't even talk to me. Give me some time to be myself and to just wake up. So I know what it's like to just not want to get up in the morning, and then especially not want to get up before your kids. So I didn't used to. I didn't start getting up before my kids until my firstborn, my son, was 18 months old. And then, but ever since then, I have worked really hard at getting up before him. And you know what? There have been some times when I've struggled. There are some days, I should say, that I struggle with it. And I don't always want to get up before my son, but I know that it's important. Also, when I had my daughter and she was a newborn, a little bitty newborn, I did not get up before her. So I don't want to like put pressure on those of you who have newborns, or, you know, if your kids are sick during the night, obviously, and you're not sleeping, then you don't have to get up before your kids, you know, every single day. But I'm not really going to talk about why it's important to get up before your kids in this video, because I think we all know that we need to, and you may even feel a little guilty that you don't. And so I don't want to put a guilt trip on you. I just want to motivate you into getting up before your kids, because you probably, if you're watching this video, you probably know that you should and you want to. You just have a hard time doing it. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. My first step, or my first tip about waking up before your kids, is to simply get out of bed. And I know that sounds like super, super simple, but if you've ever heard of the, Newton's law of motion, that an object in motion stays in motion, and that's true about ourselves. When we just take the first step and just get ourselves out of bed instead of rolling over or, you know, looking at the clock, or, I'm just laying back on the pillow. If we just get up and take that first step out of bed, and then it just makes it so much easier to continue on with our morning. So pick a morning time for you to wake up and stick with it. And then also pick a morning time for your kids. So sometimes the problem is that your kids are getting up too early. So, you know, for my kids, they don't come out of their rooms until 7 o'clock. And sometimes my son is awake before then, but he knows that he has to stay in his room until 7. And so sometimes he'll play with his toys. Sometimes he'll be really good and he'll get dressed and make his bed like he's supposed to. And then other days, you know, we have to remind him. But he stays in his room until 7 o'clock. He's just used to doing that because we've kind of trained him to do that. Okay, so then my second tip is to go to bed earlier the night before. So I know that when you put your kids to bed, it's like freedom, you know, and you have time to yourself finally, and you have all this quiet time. And but the thing is that usually we just waste that time. We might stay up late scrolling social media or watching TV, and then we don't go to bed until it's late and we're tired. And if you've been looking at screens all night or all evening, then it makes it harder to sleep. So really decide on a bedtime that you can actually stick with and will give you enough sleep during the night, so that it's easier to wake up in the morning when you've had enough sleep and you're not, you know, exhausted because you went to bed super late. Another tip, number 3, is to plan what you will do before your kids wake up. So the amount of time that you wake up before your children, you know, it really doesn't matter. But what you do at that time is what does matter. So even if you wake up, you know, at 5 in the morning and your kids don't get up till 7, but all you do is, you know, watch TV or get on Facebook during that time, well then what was the point of getting up before your kids? So make that time count, and really, that's my dishwasher, real life here, if you heard that beeping sound. But anyways, make sure that time counts. So personally, I like to do a list of things that I can't normally do with my kids awake. And so for me, that is, I do a quick little YouTube exercise video. I love Lucy Wyndham Reed's videos because they're super quick and they're easy to do. And then I do some quiet time, either reading the Bible and praying, or sometimes I'll read like a Christian self-help topic book that I am currently reading. And then I have some coffee. I enjoy a cup of coffee, and I have some quiet time with my husband, and I take a shower. And those are all things that are hard for me to do when my kids are up, so I do them before they wake up. Okay, so number 4, look forward to something that you can do before your kids get up. So for me, just having that quiet time and being able to exercise by myself and get my body moving without being interrupted, taking a shower without wondering what my kids are doing, or having some time to read and just the quietness in the morning. I'm an introvert, and so I need that time to myself. That is motivating to me. So think of something that you enjoy doing in the mornings. Maybe exercising isn't motivating for you. Maybe that would make you want to stay in bed longer. So think of something that really motivates you to get out of bed and that you look forward to doing, and make sure that's a part of your morning routine before your kids get up. And then number 5, determine why you want to wake up before your kids. So I said I wasn't going to talk about why you should wake up before your kids. It's, I think we all know why, but I want you to actually really put it into words, put it into thoughts, and then write it down so that you know, and you can articulate why is it that you are getting up before your kids, so that on those mornings when all you want to do is just flip over and stay in bed, those words will run back through your mind and you'll remember why it is that you want to get up before them. So for me, these are just some examples, but the reasons that I get up before my kids are, number 1, having time to myself is energizing since I'm an introvert, like I said. Number 2, I'm a happier person when I have time to slowly wake up without meeting the demands of my kids. Because if I'm waking up as soon as them, it's like, wham, all of a sudden I'm meeting, all of their needs, and I'm not taking care of myself, and it's hard to wake up that way, and I usually turn into a grumpy person. And then number 3, why I get up before my kids is it allows me to prepare for them. So I'm a better mom. Well, that's number 4. I said number 4 is I'm a better mom, wife, and homemaker when I start my day with quietness, exercise, and time in God's word and prayer. But getting up before them allows me to prepare for them. So maybe it's just getting their breakfast ready without them, standing around my legs, begging for food, or it could be just preparing my heart for being a mom for the day. So those are the reasons why. And when I have those in my mind, it makes it so much easier to wake up, because I'm more motivated when I know why I'm getting up. So all of these tips work. Don't just let your mornings happen. Don't wait for your kids to drag you out of bed. Instead, start putting these tips into practice, and you will find that you can wake up before your kids. It totally is possible, I promise you, because I didn't think it was, and I'm not a morning person, but it does work for me, and I know it can work for you too. So that's it. I hope that this was helpful, and thanks for watching.